Hello, how's it going? My name is Arin. Welcome to my channel. So I just got home from the Bushwick Film Festival, and Four Eyed Monsters screened there tonight. Susan was out of town, so I had to do the Q&A myself. Brian Gonzalez was there from taxiplasm.net, and he has a bunch of video blogs up there that you should check out. This is the first annual film festival in Bushwick, so I'm trying to be as supportive as possible because I think it's a good idea. I think that there's a growing film community in Bushwick. It's just a really cheap place to live, and you can get access to space to shoot things. I've been seeing a lot more things getting shot in Bushwick. There's definitely no concern about shooting in Bushwick in terms of we never got permits for anything or insurance or anything like that. So anyways, people are always asking more questions about our film. I might as well just post a Q&A raw, and it's possible I might post more raw Q&As in the future. I apologize that I was the only one in this Q&A and that Susan couldn't be available, but she was out of town visiting her family for her birthday.
Welcome to the first annual Bushwick Film Festival.
We're so happy you can make it.
So we decided to do this a few months ago, maybe in June, and now it's happening, and I'm super excited about it.
Very excited. We're happy you could be here.
Fucking fabulous film. A lot of this was shot in Bushwick. Apparently they had this deal with spout.com in which they had a $100,000 debt, and this site said, if you sign people up for us, we'll give you a dollar for each person. And they have 45,000 sign-ups so far, so they're making it work. Yeah. I mean, you're in debt too. They found a way. Badass. Anybody have any questions about the film?
The film is autobiographical, obviously, but some of the material is actually some real stuff. Like when I'm filming and sending Susan videos, you just see my eyes. Those are videos that I really sent when Susan was really at this place in Vermont. But obviously, the person who's in charge at Vermont is not as ridiculous as that guy. So the movie is kind of a mix in that respect of. It's not there's nothing historically relevant to the world or anybody in this movie. It's more about us just kind of taking our own experiences and internal perspectives. The progression was just kind of thinking that we had been kind of shooting a lot of different things, and there was these videos that we'd send each other, and that maybe we should try and turn that into something. But we looked at some of the footage and we're like, well, this is not compelling, So we started thinking maybe we should do an art installation, or maybe we should, do a website. We weren't really sure, but then we realized that really it was just kind of a matter of trying to tell the story and figure out how to do that. So then we started, I'd been doing video stuff for a long time, but then we started thinking okay, how can we try and take these really weird experiences that we've had and try and turn them into something that that conveys. And for a long time, it really sucked. We would shoot things and edit it and just be totally depressed about how crappy it was coming out. And over time, we just kept sort of refining it into something that we would show to some friends, and eventually we started to get little cookie crumb, oh yeah, that little bit is good, we like that, or whatever. And the whole project has been like that since. Some little thing develops. We get into a film festival, the first festival. That was just oh wow, we should really get serious about finishing the movie, and maybe even finding an audience. We didn't think that we would necessarily get it seen by anybody. We were just kind of making it and stuff. Did I stalk her? Yeah. I mean, don't we all, right? I mean, well, I mean, has anybody looked up somebody online and ever had that feeling of I'm actually exposing a little bit more of this person than I want to admit later, And then you're playing it cool. Yeah. Oh, are we MySpace friends? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sure. So I mean, clearly everybody stalks everybody. We should just all acknowledge that, right? I mean, if we can't rely on ourselves. I'm gonna stalk you guys. You're probably gonna stalk me. You know, we could create a stalking relationship. But the reality is that I actually lost Susan in the subway. But in the scene, we thought it would be funnier if I like got a shot of her door, just to kind of push that potential creepiness a little bit harder and confuse people more with this sort of like, wait, why is she into him? And so I don't know, just kind of throw it off a little bit. Okay, so where did that poll thing come from? Actually, Susan's friend, who is an artist that she went to art school with, did a dirty like series, like where he's taking photos of people's bodies with all these welts all over them and just like totally disgusting stuff. And one of them was people licking. Well, one that he was going to do was people licking subway poles. So we started like we were inspired by some of his photography first, and then we started thinking, well, what could we do? And Susan asked him if it was okay if we took the licking of the subway pole, and then people always ask, did we clean the pole off? Yes, we used alcohol. Yeah, but you know what though? Be careful in New York City. We did not clean it afterwards. So yeah. Oh, what time of night did we shoot the subway thing? That was like, I don't know, 3 a.m., something like that, the JMZ line. Was anybody there? Did you guys see us filming? The whole thing? Well, we started working on the project full time back in October of 2003. So we're coming up on that being 4 years ago that we started working on it. And in the first 14 months, we started showing it at film festivals. So we had it shot like within a year, but then there was more editing that we wanted to do, a little bit more animation we added after we started taking it to festivals. Festivals were kind of used as like a workshop for the film because it could be edited so many millions of ways. Some of the scenes could be before, there's certain things that have been cut out, certain things we've added little inserts to kind of like bring it together. It's just kind of a mashup hodgepodge anyways. So the final version of the movie was posted to YouTube June 8th. So that's the cut that you're seeing here. Yeah, we're not going to do anything else to the movie, but there is actually also on the DVD and on our website this whole online series that we made. We started making a year and a half ago, and it's just stuff about like it's kind of like towards the end the movie's really revealing itself, and it's just kind of really us at that point. Like that addresses your question. Yes, the stuff at the end those are real conversations and real things where we're interacting with each other and stuff. So the online series is a bunch of episodes of just, we were always filming things during the filmmaking and during festivals, and it's kind of that stuff edited together, more documentary-ish. And then those are broken up in small clips. But there's like about an hour of various episodes that we actually have a couple more. Well, we don't know how many more exactly, but there's some other ones that are backlogged that we haven't edited yet. And it's weird, we got all these people online that were subscribing and watching every new video whenever it came out, and they'd never seen the film. And that's actually what inspired us to try and like get a DVD of the film made and get it into some theaters and stuff, because it was people finding out about just our website that got all this interest. But now we stopped actually making episodes so that we could release the film and spend time on that, and there's a lot of business pain in the ass things to doing that. And so now like we get all these comments on our pages that are like, what happened to the next episode, like I need to see it and everything. So we're gonna try and like fulfill that request that people have. It's no longer up to us who we are or what we do with our time. It's now a democracy. Our time is determined by the audience. Susan did all the drawings except a couple of the animations were done by a friend that helped us out with the animation. Thanks. Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, there's something I think therapeutic about taking an experience that you have and turning it into something that you somehow make sense to other people. I think it's why we talk to friends, why we tell stories, why we want to hear stories. Life doesn't come with any guide that says, oh, if this happens, maybe you should behave this way. We all figure that out through social interactions with other people. So, sometimes like it's just with weird, complex experiences, you're just like, I don't know how to tell this story to anybody. Like, it was weird that I had stalked Susan and that we were having this relationship where we weren't talking and we were writing notes. I didn't tell any of my friends about that. And so I think that for things that are just a little bit difficult to convey, it's sometimes good to do some kind of project that, especially if there's anything that was learned or maybe other people could learn from some aspect of it, be like, okay, this, okay, let me just put you in my head for a second. Okay, this is what it was like, sort of, and then it was sort of like this, so that process was weird sometimes, but also a good way of us like figuring out like what had happened, with various things along the way, and the online episodes kind of have some similar things like that, where a problem comes up and we just kind of sometimes use the process of making something to make sense of it. Yeah, back there. Well, we have another film that we're preparing to get started in, hopefully sometime in 2008. But it's quite involved, so we're doing some other smaller projects between now and then. But the topic is more about relationships. But it's actually kind of a documentary where everyone's going to submit different like little short stories, and those are going to be strung together, making counterpoints of like, dude, relationships don't make any sense. Our culture's totally screwed up. Versus, well, actually, it's very, our modern day of romance is actually romantic. It's going to kind of counterpoint back and forth and basically leave people hopefully even more confused than this film leaves people. No, not necessarily. I mean, I don't necessarily even consider this a film, really. Like, I consider this more of like some weird media art performance project, life integration, weird thing. That's a really good question. I mean, it ends up doing both in a weird way, because when you take something that's happened to you, like even that waterfront scene out in Williamsburg, like that video footage has pretty much replaced my real memory in this kind of questionable way. Like, I don't know about that. But in a way, it's more beautiful than it really was. We were just kind of there in our grungy little attire, like, sitting on the pier, like it was probably really boring actually, but so we tried to shoot it in the way it felt. So, and we cut out, yeah, we didn't include the whole thing. But that's a really good question. I mean, I haven't thought a lot about like what, I don't think much about like holding on to stuff, because I do try and think of in terms of communicating, because I do think that that's more, for me, what art is about. But incidentally, yes, there is a certain, like, one of the cuts of our trailer that's different than the main one we use, like, sometimes, like, tears me up just a little bit looking at it, because I'm thinking about our actual relationship and stuff like that. So, yeah, there is, like, a weird kind of photo album effect of looking through a photo album of all this stuff. But I think that that's also just normal, anybody's experiences of documenting their lives, which almost everyone is doing to some degree, kind of provokes that kind of reaction, I think.
There's this one time I played basketball with this guy that I thought I knew, and apparently he was just a supporting actor from Unofortunately Susan. So if you feel like you got to hug him, I think you'll be okay with that, 'cause, I'm gone. Get all right for you. I swear I will. MySpace made a lot of this happen for you, right? Yeah, and also was nominated for 2 Spirit Awards, which is actually the only pretty cool award these days, right? Hey, one more question, then we're going to go.
Well, I didn't go to college. I'm kind of anti-college. I think it's just kind of a ripoff. I was looking at it and I was thinking, well, I could just get the equipment for way less than it would cost to go to college. So I've been always trying to, like, build my arsenal of stuff that I now have, like high definition cameras that I'm working on for future projects that'll look even, crisper and everything. So yeah, I'm not so much about like formal education with this kind of stuff. I think it's more about experimentation. but yeah, I have a really solid background in experimentation because when I was 16, I was making like trippy, like psychedelic experimental video feedback things. And yeah, so I've always kind of like played around with different like technologies and tried to develop my own tool belt. The thing that I worry about getting a formal education is that I'll have the same tool belt that everyone else will have. So then it's like a screw gun, put in a screw into the sheetrock, just like everybody else could do, you know? But in filmmaking.
I think it's pretty fucking fabulous that you were here tonight. Thank you very much, honestly. And we will hug later, more appropriately and more in private. Question. What camera do you have right now? What kind of camera are you using right now?
Right now I'm using the HVX 200. What kind of machine you got it? G5, and I also have a Intel PowerBook, but it sucks.
Do you use the pen thing, or do you just use
I have a Wacom. It's not connected.
We all have one not connected.
Also, DVDs. Well, first of all, the spout thing, anybody can do that, and we get $1 for anybody that joins spout.com/4eyed monsters. You should really do that because it's proving a new way of films being able to show for free. Like our film is showed to almost 1 million people on the internet, and a lot of them have joined, as he said, Spout, and so that's like getting us out of debt. Plus, it's a pretty cool website, spout.com/4eyed monsters. But then also either from that page or on our website, we link to where we sell DVDs and shirts and other stuff. And we have some DVDs out there as well.
Yeah, how much are the DVDs?
Normally they're $15, but here
And
they're $10.
they're $10 here, $5 discount for you very special people. But yeah, actually, I just Googled it today, 4-eyed monster, and it will get you there. So don't have to actually remember anything tonight. Thank you so much, Arin, for being here tonight. I want to ask, I hope some of you guys are thinking about participating next year in submissions.
Obviously, we think film is very important. That's why we started this film festival, and it's the first year. Hopefully it does really well, and next year we'll come back again. Thanks for coming tonight. Thank you. Thank you.